also like to request the Secretary to welcome the troupe. Thank you so much. Sunita Bhuyan is a violinist and HR professional on wellness, leadership and change interventions through the medium of music, and has 25 years of experience in the field across leading corporations, forums and business schools globally. She pursues a passion for spreading the benefits of music amongst children and cancer patients, both from the mainstream and the underprivileged worlds. An MBA in Human Resources and a Master of Hindustani Music, she is a disciple of her mother, violinist Minoti Khound, and Maestro Padma Vibhushan Pandit V.G. Jog. A recipient of the Indira Gandhi Priyadarshini Award for Excellence, she recently received the Woman of the Decade Award from the Women Economic Forum and the Women of Abundance Award from Rotary International. She is also a Rex Karmavir Global Awardee and Fellow and Ambassador of the South Asian Women's Fund on Women's Rights. As a Joy of Giving Ambassador for Don Bosco, she has received the blessings from His Holiness Pope Francis for her work with more than 12,500 children as well as cancer patients and the specially abled. She was invited as a special guest for Mother Teresa's canonization at the Vatican. As a mentor for wellness and diversity at Espreas Foundation, Ms. Sunita Bhuyan has presented talks and conducted workshops in several forums, including the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, CEDEP, Leadership Institute France, Global Economic Summit, TED Talks, NHRDN, and American Express Women's Leadership Summit. Her album, Bihu Strings by Times Music, is the only album of folk on the violin in India, which explores the classical and world music influences in northeastern folk music. She has collaborated with artists and projects like Grammy winner Vishwa Mohan Bhatt, percussionist Vikram Ghosh, Shivamani, Leslie Lewis, Jazz Maestro Yati Durand, Paragon Ensemble, and the like. Some of her special programs in India are Save the Rhino by Yes Bank and CNBC, Peripheals, the Mega Folk Fusion Festival, Festival of Bharat, Vibrant Gujarat, and Strings and Weaves. She enjoys experimenting with light classical and folk fusion, creating very melodious and vibrant renditions to reach out to a diverse spectrum of audiences. Please welcome Ms. Sunita Bhuyan, troupe leader, Pingi Lakta on tabla, Hemanta Saikya on keyboards, and Satish Solanki percussions. Thank you.
A very good evening to all of you. Thank you, Sneha, for the warm and long introduction. Thank you, sir, for your kind invitation. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here this evening on a cold Friday evening in Delhi to share your precious time with us. As Sneha mentioned, Indo fusion violinist and vocalist. I think today only the violinist can make a presence here, because it's been almost 5 to 6 days that I've been suffering from a very, very strong attack of the throat and viral infection. Maybe as the evening flows, with the warmth and energy of the group, I can probably sing a few Assamese folk pieces, but definitely the vocalist is not much informed today. Thank you, Sahitya Academy, and it's wonderful to see the spread of the Festival of Letters that I saw when I walked in. And I'm sure a lot of you enjoyed the last 3 evenings that you had on the cultural front also. We're sorry that you had to go through our sound check, because typically sound checks are not very nice to hear. They are only for the group to get the sound together, but all of you heard all the bad cacophonic sounds of our checks, but you had to bear with it. I shall start with a tribute to our country, a piece which is called Bharat Darshan, a tour of India in Rag Desh. And before that, I would like to perform a Rag Desh piece, which is again a very, very powerful national song for us. I don't have to tell you what that song is, you would know when I start playing. Bharat Darshan, my second piece, was composed by our Guru, Pandit V.G. Jog, during the 40th year of India's independence. And today, I'm here right after a concert in Kolkata yesterday. A Guru Pranam for Pandit V.G. Jog yesterday in Kolkata, Rabindra Sadan. And that was a concert with my mother, who's been his senior most disciple. So the mother and I together did a tribute to our Guru, late Padma Bhushan Pandit V.G. Jog. Bharat Darshan is based in Rag Desh, as I've mentioned, and travels across India. And when he taught this piece to me many years ago, he said that I'm giving you a piece with a few folk tunes from the deserts, from the mountains, from the rivers, and I hope that you can take this piece to different parts of India and add on the folk of that land, because he always mentioned that the classical ragas emerged from the sounds of nature, from the sounds of the land, from the melody of the land. And so folk music is definitely one of the more original forms of music, and you can add on the various melodies from the different regions of India. And hopefully he also blessed me that if you go out of India and look at folk forms from different parts of the world, you will see a lot of similarities between the folk forms in India and abroad. from Bengal in the east to the deserts of India. Oh, मैं तो इलाज की मारी हो गई पानी सब लोगों ने सुन ली मेरी प्रेम कहानी मुँह से बात निकल गई बात deserts in the west to the northeast in Assam, the Bihu. Oh, yeah. you very much. I hope the sound is not too loud for this hall.
Great.
Because earlier the setup was supposed to be outside. But thanks to Sneha that and all of you all arranged it inside. I'm happy that it's warm and not as cold as outside. Music, apart from being a great entertaining platform, has got two other profound benefits on the mind and body of human beings. As you know, sound travels to the atmosphere, to the sound waves, and reaches the mind or the brain, and the brain sends signals to different parts of the body. And that's when the mind starts relaxing, the body starts relaxing, and the nervous system calms down. And then the reaction of endorphins start happening in the body and getting produced in the body. And that's what helps us in dealing with stress, in regenerating our tired cells. And music as a therapy is being used very significantly today for patients recuperating from various diseases, especially cancer. They're used as group therapy for patients who are recuperating and have probably completed their dose of medication. It's used in prenatal, postnatal clinics, as well as in boardrooms for managers and executives and leaders like lots of yourselves to take decisions, because it calms the mind and the body. Music has another benefit, which is the lessons from the world of music helps us manage teams more efficiently, because art or music or any kind of performance is dependent on so many people. So the people who are with me on stage today, they are not my supporters, they are my collaborators, they are my partners. And that's the first lesson that music teaches us, that people who work with you do not work for you, they work with you. And that's what creates the team, and that's what makes us depend on each other. And so that's the first humbling experience that it teaches us, that no matter how great a solo artist one can be, I can never do a performance without the team on stage. So on the percussions, electric drums, we have Satish Solanki. Satish ji is from Delhi. In fact, all three of them are from Delhi. And we often play together when we do programs in the north, but I don't always play with them. That's Hemanta. Hemanta lives in Delhi but is originally from Assam and is currently very busy with his daughter, who is a very good singer. And I think he's training her for the reality Voice of India. Though I personally don't subscribe to reality channels, I really think that if I were to become part of the INV ministry at all, the first thing I would ban would be reality shows for children, not for adults. For adults, there can be enough competition, but for children, I think music has to be an experience, music has to be a journey, music has to be a creative process, not competing with each other. But yes, for adults, there's already so much of competition. One more competition, lot's going to make a difference. So Hemanta knows all the Assamese tunes and the Bihu tunes. Unfortunately, I don't know whether I can sing all of them today. Sur pe sur mein गाना गाएंगे तो आप लोग को बुरा लगेगा, तो हम गाना कम गाएंगे, violin बजाएंगे. On the right is Mihir Bhatta. And we all often play together when we are in Delhi or around this area. So the next piece is about how the universal 7 notes of music. संगीत के 7 ही सुर होते हैं, सा रे गा मा पा धा नी. सा रे गा मा पा धा नी सा सा रे गा पा मा गा रे सा. And in the Western world it's do re mi fa sol la ti la so fa mi re do. All the music in the world, whether it's Indian classical, Western classical, rock, jazz, pop, Western, Celtic, African, Hindi, Launi, Bhangra, Scottish, Celtic. Any music in the world is based on these 7 notes. And one of the greatest icons of music and culture in India, Tagore, was very much influenced by music from across the world. And in fact, I got to know about Tagore's influences from Scottish poet Robert Burns. Today, being here at the heart of literature, at the epicenter of literature for India, I thought I would share this piece. Robert Burns is supposed to be the first ever rock star poet of Scotland, and he's so big that like we celebrate Tagore here, he's celebrated in Scotland. In fact, Burns' Day was on 25th of January, and his poems have inspired people across the world, and his poems have been translated into beautiful melodies in different languages, both Gaelic and in English, the dialect of Scotland. Tagore's two of his iconic Rabindrasangits have been inspired by Robert Burns' 2 very famous poems, songs, Ye Banks Embrace and Old Lang Syne. Old Lang Syne is the inspired Tagore's famous Purano Shedin Kotha. But my favorite is Ye Banks Embrace, which I learned after many years of doing music in Scotland about 5 years back from my friends and musicians who told me that let's play this song Sunita because it is Tagore's Rabindrasangit has happened from this song. Ye banks embrace, oh morning, how can you sing so fresh and fair? How can you sing, ye little birds, with eyes so very full of care? You take my heart, ye warbling birds, Bagasa, bagasa, halva magari, garisa, sari, sari gaga bagarisa, departed never to return. Sunita? I know we're not over time, but just wanted to. When you talk of Tagore and his body of work, there's another person that comes to my mind who is Dr. Sunita, who recently got the Bharat Ratna a few days back. And a lot of his work has been inspiring people across the world. However, his iconic number is on the river Ganga and the river Brahmaputra. Upendra got so exasperated with the degradation in society that he was shouted at the river and said, "Vistar hai apar, praja dono par, करे हाहाकार निशब्द सदा, ओ गंगा तुम, ओ गंगा बहती हो क्यों?" And in Assamese, he first created the Assamese version. Vistinna parare, akhonkhya janare, hahakar khuni, nikhabde nirabe, budhaloi tumi, budhaloi pua, iya. And in Bengali, he wrote, "Bistinna dupare, ashankha janare, hahakar shuni, nishabde nirabe, o Ganga tumi, o Ganga boicha kero." Can I get some warm water? नैतिकता भ्रष्ट हुई। मानवता भ्रष्ट हुई, नैतिकता नष्ट हुई। निर्लज्ज भाव से बहती हो क्यों? इतिहास की पुकार करे गुणकार। इतिहास की पुकार करे गुणकार। वो गंगा की धार निर्लज्जन को प्रबल संग्रामी समग्रगामी बनाती नहीं हो क्यों? Is another very famous song is about humanity. Manuhe manuhar babe jodi he okono na bhabe okono সহানুভূতিৰে ভাবিব কোনে? মানুষ মানুষের জন্মে জীবন জীবনের জন্মে একটু সহানুভূতি মানুষ দিতে পারে না। মানুষ মানুষের জন্মে জীবন জীবনের জন্মে মানুহে মানুহর বাবে যদি হে অকণো ভাবে অকণো সহানুভূতিৰে ভাবিব কোনে নকবা অপনীয়া মানুহে মানুহৰ asking the human race that if people don't care about people, if human beings don't care about human beings, very soon the demons will come down on earth and start taking care of the human beings. Wants to hold your hand and cross the river of life, why don't you give a hand to that person and help him cross his life? Thank you so much. The last piece would be a fusion of Assamese Bihu and some Scottish folk. We can continue to play more. My voice is bad. With violin, by God's grace, I can continue, but there's a time, and it's been a long day of 4 days of your conference. And so the piece that we're going to perform now is about life on the banks of the river Brahmaputra. And the girl is saying, my body swaying towards the river, and the boy, like all men, thinks that she's swaying towards him, and he says, I'm a very small farmer on the banks of the river. I don't have enough to take you home. A sad story amidst the love story that people who provide for us, who give us our food, don't have enough in their homes. And the love story blooms on the banks of the river, and then they migrate to Scotland and they realize that the same tune of the Brahmaputra's Bihu is similar to the Scottish tunes in the Highlands, and that's how they start making an effort in the Scottish Highlands too. The name of the song is On the Banks of the Brahmaputra, Luit or Balite, Bali meaning sand. It's from my album Bihu Strings. I'm not trying to sell the album, albums don't sell. But it's the concept, it's the first ever folk on the violin in India. So this is one of the songs from that album by Times Music. that with you, you cannot not move your hands, or else I won't be allowed to be going back to Assam. So if you're singing Bihu, you have to know how to move your hands. So you may want to try. In Assamese. Oi, Louis, tor bari de bari vor khelu de bari sanga dekhilu tu. Hoy, yes. Hoy meaning yes. Oi, Louis, tor bari de bari vor khelu de bari sanga dekhilu tu. Atum tu kari koi ghorole anilu. Oi, ane kagile tu kaise limpa koru wani kasale. Salam se limpa koru ki ko kopinaga. Salam se limpa koru jaju nimala jaju nimala. Oi, ajikali dekara mon ko nuani ki janu bhabe sabe thakbe. Kaboru dekhile kake sabi lage. Oi, khane khane sukule salam se limpa koru wani kasale. Salam se limpa koru ki ko kopinaga. Salam se limpa koru jaju nimala jaju nimala. And then they migrated to Scotland, and the Scottish reel started. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, great. There's a request from sir here to do Bhuyan's Dil Hum Hum Kare. Can I have the longer wire because this is not compatible with the system one question. Volume कम रखो लगाए हो कम रखो वॉल्यूम कम म्यूट रखो था नहीं अब इस ध्यान से बढ़ाइए जो अच्छा दिखता है वो अच्छा नहीं हो सकता है I have wires to match with all my outfits, so this is golden to match with the gold. So obviously, this is one that looks nice is not always one that's actually the right one. So that's a good lesson. But of course, we were so late. Our flight was so late today, 1.5 hours late from Kolkata, and somehow I barely managed to get myself into a mekhla and arrive at the venue, and all of you were already seated. So I thought, let me just get what is there on with the violin and start off. Wish I had my voice and I could sing. जो हम गाना गा रहे हैं बीच में, आप लोग बुरा नहीं मान रहे हो ना? अच्छा नहीं है पता है, लेकिन we don't mind me singing because there are certain words and certain lyrics which has to be expressed to the voice. And but when you have lost your voice to a bad infection, so you can't do justice. Thank you, Shriram, for inviting. Thank you, Sneha, for coordinating. Thanks to Sahitya Academy and all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for sharing your time with us this evening. My friends also who've come, Subimal and Joita, who always comes to most of my programs. They are also from another cultural organization, Jukto, which deals with the Barak Valley. So the Brahmaputra and the Barak are the two main valleys of Assam. So how do you unite both the valleys together? So we've got friends here who are trying to work towards that. So we have them here. Thank you for coming. And thanks to all of you, the crew. And I hope I get the photographs of, yes. Thank you. Thanks to Sound, Baba. Thank you. Vasant, we are nowhere without the people who create the infrastructure for us. So they are our main collaborators. Thank you so much to the Sound team, Vasant. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Having it inside was actually the secretary's idea. Given it's so cold outside, also the audience should not suffer, and given your condition, we thought it's better to have it inside. It was no problem, and we all enjoyed this evening. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, crew, and thank you, sir. And all of you have a very good evening, and have a good night. Thank you.